goes out, there are those ready to respond. Our nation's emergency services personnel stand ready to help us in our time of need. Marion County Fire Rescue consists of over 300 full-time personnel operating out of 27 stations, responding to over 90 emergencies per day. So how does a department this size prepare itself to do its job? The answer is training. Fire rescue personnel log over 45,000 hours of training every year. These hours represent their preparation to get ready for whatever life would send their way. Well, while no training can get someone ready for everything, this training provides them a background, a foundation that they can use when responding to the realities of life. How do you prepare for life? What do you do to get ready for what life may send your way? What kind of training do you have available to get ready for the situations that you will inevitably face? We've been involved with the story to get a big picture view of the Bible. It's been our desire to get a fuller understanding, a greater perspective of God's truth. And in understanding God's truth, to better be able to handle life as it comes to us day by day. But what happens when life happens? No training can get you ready for everything that may come your way. In chapter 12 of the story, we get a glimpse into the life of one of Israel's greatest leaders. King David was referred to as a man after God's own heart. We understand that David would lead his people to victory, and they would enjoy peace and prosperity through his reign and all the way into the reign of his son Solomon. David would reflect upon the training he had to prepare for this when he thought about the manner in which he would defeat the giant Goliath. But David said to Saul, "Your servant was tending his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I went out after him and attacked him and rescued it from his mouth. And when he rose up against me, I seized him by his beard and struck him and killed him. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, since he has taunted the armies of the living God." And David said, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." And Saul said to David, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." But what about the rest of life? Was David prepared for every situation that might come his way? Certainly not. But more than any kind of training, David had a foundation that would provide him security and stability no matter what happened. David had a relationship with God, and this personal, intimate relationship allowed him to have a place to stand on no matter what happened as his life continued. He would be prepared to meet both the victories and the defeats of life. Some of the aspects of the real life that David lived are captured in the Psalms. Open any traditional Bible to the middle, and you'll usually find yourself in the book of Psalms. Psalms consist of 150 poems, many of them set to music. And in these Psalms, we read about the full expressions of life, the varied experience. Here what we find is real life lived in the real world. A major aspect in living a real life in the real world is the desire for stability and security. We would like to know just in general that the things around us are going to be settled and stable. Now, we know we can't control every situation, but we would still like to know at the end of the day that things are going to be okay. But rather than find some security or stability in circumstances, we can find these in a relationship. Earlier in the story, we learned about God's passionate desire to bring to himself a people that he would have in an intimate and personal relationship. And God showed himself faithful and knew that that would be the foundation of this relationship. Well, David came to learn and experience this faithfulness in God. And as a description of trust, David expresses his heart in the 23rd Psalm, one of the best known and most loved Psalms in all of Scripture. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures.
He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
You've probably heard the words of that psalm before. Psalm 23 is often read at funerals as an expression of comfort and hope. David wrote these words to express his faith and his trust in God. This faith, this trust would be the foundation of his relationship with God. That's where he would have his security and stability. His life wasn't dependent upon ever-changing circumstances.